Hey there everybody, it's Kathy Champion and you're back at my YouTube channel, Kathy's Random Acts of Stamping. I am a Stampin' Up demonstrator here in Gastonia, North Carolina, and I just want to thank you so much for tuning in with me today, and I'm so excited. Here's my host code real quick. Spend $50 before tax and shipping and you'll get a free gift from me at the end of the month. Also, we have a drawing going on. Any purchase that you make and use the host code, you will be in a drawing for this free Darling Donkey. This is no longer available. It was during the celebration, and I obtained a few of the extras and I'm giving those away. It's a brand new stamp set, never been used, still has the stickers intact. These have never been taken off of the thing, so it is brand new. Just wanted to throw that out there and let you know. But make sure you use the host code, and this runs through the 15th. So if it's on the 16th, check my site for a new host code, and I'll do my best to post that as soon as I get up on the 16th. Okay, all of that out of our way, we can move on to what I want to show you. This is Butterfly Bouquet, or Bouquet, however you want to pronounce it, but it is bouquets of butterflies. And this particular set comes with the stamps. If you get the collection is sort of like the suite would be. It's like everything. You get everything that's in this bundle, group, whatever. A bundle includes the stamps and the dies. The collection includes the stamps, the dies, the paper, the designer series paper, and then the specialty natural birch paper. And it is a different breed of paper. Here it is right here, and it has the feel, and yes, I've cut into it and I've used it, so I got a little piece here that I can actually pull out and show you. It has a shimmer to it, and it's two-sided, so this side looks more like just a very muted pattern, very subtle, and then this side is a beautiful wood grain, but it has the texture, and it feels I don't know, it feels almost like it's plastic, but paper. I can't really explain it, but it is very pretty, and it has the beautiful wood grain finish. So that is one of the papers, but, and I really can't show you all of this because I have used the living daylights out of this. The papers, I do want you to know, are only while supplies last. So if you love these papers, go grab them before they're gone, because I am positive this paper is going to sell out. I already placed an order for some more of this. But the dies cut this out, and I'll show you how that works in just a minute. But let me show you some of this beautiful paper. It is, and see, I got scraps in here. Look at all the butterflies. And then the back sides are just as gorgeous as the front. You have some textured solid pieces on the back. The pack is very generous, and I mean it's gorgeous. It's just beautiful, beautiful paper. So if you are interested in picking that up, it is a 6x6 pack, and I believe there's 48 sheets. I think it's 48 sheets, but see all my bits and pieces that I've cut out of, and I've just stuck them back in my package because I don't want to lose any of it, and I never know if I want to cut a butterfly out of a piece of this. So I stick it back in here for to be able to use again, because I'm not wasting one little bit of this. But let me show you what is here's our dies. They're called Brilliant Wings. It is a 2-set die set. It's not just this piece that, look at this. This fits over top of this paper, and it cuts out those butterflies, and they are beautiful. And then you can use your scissors and cut these little half pieces out to stick on the edge of your card to make it look like the butterflies are flying off the paper. Another way to save and get as much out of this paper as you possibly can. So that's one part of the dies. These can also be put down on plain paper to cut the background of a butterfly, and I'll show you because I did quite a few of those. You can also stamp your image, and this will fit over top of your stamp, and you can cut those all out. So it's very, very versatile. But look at these detailed butterfly dies. These are gorgeous, and I'm going to show you what I did with these. You remember when I did the vellum and used my markers and then put alcohol over it and it made that beautiful background paper on the vellum? I did several sheets of that. I actually played with it a little bit, and this was a piece of vellum that I'd done a while back, and this is what I came up with. And look at that. And this is the Blushing Bride, and I cut the solid piece out of that. And I don't know if you remember this piece, but this one I done in pinks and reds, and then I went back with my art glitter glue. No, it wasn't art glitter glue. What was it? Yeah, I think it was, because I needed something that I could put embossing powder on that would stay. And I just did that, and then did I do the leafing on this? I may have done the gilded leafing on this. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's got little strands of gold running through that vellum. And then I just glued that down using the body for my glue. And you can't see the glue, which is great. And I think it's because it's colored. But I thought that turned out really cute. It is kind of plain. I think next time I put Designer Series paper, a mat of it back there. But it is a simple card, and I just stamped that very simple happy birthday. And that was just me playing around to see how the vellum would work and if I liked it. I loved it. So, the other thing I want to show you in this stamp set, you get these 3 cut texture type things. This makes a very cute little, like little holes in your paper. It doesn't quite cut them out completely, but just a little bit. And this piece right here is the same way. It does a texture, and this actually cuts brick. And I'll show you. Here's the little textured area. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get it. Yeah, right there, I think you can see it. But the brick actually cuts out like a brick. And how cute would that be on a piece of paper? I can see that just looking beautiful on a piece of paper. But anyway, this is our two sets of dies, and they work beautifully. Now, this is one set that I would not recommend getting the dies without the stamps and vice versa. But I mean, you could, because these could be used independently. But look at the stamp. Now, the stamps and the dies are going to carry over and be in the annual catalog. The papers are the ones that are going to be gone probably immediately. I haven't checked the site this morning to see if it's still available. But the butterflies is all one stamp. So to get a good image on this, I would use a stamp positional tool like the Stamparatus, because you might have to ink this more than once to get a good. Anytime you have like a big stamp, it usually has to be inked more than once. So it's hard to do that on your block. It's not to say you can't. You know, if you use a lot of even pressure, you can, but you can stamp these out and then color them. You can stamp them in a colored ink and then just add a little bit of highlight. I mean, the possibilities with this set is endless. So I'm just saying, if you love butterflies, you've got to get this. It is so beautiful. All right, I'm going to move my paper out of my way, and I'm going to bring oh, let me go over this real quick. Of course, if you bundle the stamps and the dies, you're going to save 10% on that. So the price on the bundle is $54.75. The paper is $11.50. The Birch paper is $5. You get 2 sheets of that, 12 by 12. If you wanted to bundle and get the all-inclusive collection, that is $71.25. That's still a great buy for what you're getting, because this right here would be $54.75. So what they're doing, they're giving you the bundle price, the discount, and then adding these 2 to it. But maybe you don't want this, or maybe you don't want the butterfly paper. Maybe you don't want the stamps, but you want the dies. So you can mix and match if you like. But the entire bundle is that's what I ordered when I ordered it, because I wanted it. Oh, I'm one of those people, I always want it all. Not good. My husband will tell you that's not a good thing, but for this, I'm really glad I did. All right, I'm going to slide my catalog over here because I have everything laying on my catalog. Ah, I went butterfly crazy. These are the pieces that I was telling you about that I cut out of the vellum. And these pieces are gorgeous. And this is what I was talking about, how they will fit right on top of that. And you can glue it in the middle, and then the wings lift up because the vellum lifts up. They are stunning. And we've got all these colors. I cut out a sheet of Highland Heather, Pacific Point, Bermuda Bay, and Mango Melody. I think that's Mango Melody. Let me look at my little color coach and see if that's Mango Melody or Magenta Madness. Let's see. Magenta Madness would be... No, it's Melon Mambo. I thought it was. I wasn't sure. Those two colors are very similar, and unless you have them side by side, you really can't hardly tell. I also have cut, like I said, I did all of these out of the alcohol vellum, and I think they turned out beautiful. I'm going to lay everything off of my catalog so we can have this stuff here to work with. This one, and I cut some blue ones last night, and I've still got those. And then of course we've got all these solid ones. I'm going to lay my solids right over here to the right of me. And we're going to make some cards. Now this is some of the ones that I stamped. If you stamp it, this is what it looks like. And I stamped that in the blue ink. And you could come back in and add some other colors to this, and it would be stunning. So, and these are the ones that cut out of the that piece of Designer Series paper. This one, I got quite a few of the big ones. I think I might have used some of the smaller ones. Here we go. There's that one, and that one, and that one. Then we have this, and this, and this. And these are all the ones that cut out. These are some of the ones that I colored. I stamped them in black, and then I went back and did some alcohol marking on them. I also cut some of these little tiny ones out of the vellum, and I think they worked pretty good too. They look really cute on the card. I'm just going to lay those up there. And this one, oh my goodness, I love that one. So I'm going to lay the rest of these over. I might lay these out right here. Let's see what this one looks like. I like that one. Some of the ones that I colored, I didn't care for them quite so much, and some of them I really liked. I like that one. That one I did in Calypso Coral. This one I think turned out too dark. I like it, but it's a little bit on the dark side. That one is kind of pretty, so we'll lay that one over there. And we'll do one of the solid ones, maybe a couple of these. And I still have some more vellum. Okay, so I'm going to take the rest of these and just lay them, let's see, this green one's not bad. We'll put him over there, and the purple one. And I think that's good. Now I'm going to just move this back over here out of our way because we want to make cards, right? I know I do. So let's see how we want to put our butterflies together first. Or better yet, let's start with a Designer Series paper. I think I want to do, this is So Saffron, and let's look in our paper and find, oh, that's pretty. I think I found the piece that goes with the So Saffron. Isn't that gorgeous? I love, love, love that. So you kind of want to decide which way you want your paper to go, and I think like that. I like it like that. So I'm going to score this. And then we're going to cut a mat for that. So this is 8.5 by 5.5, and I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. And then we're going to fold that to make us a nice card base. Oh, we're going to cut our piece of designer series paper. So I want this end right here, and I need this to be 4. Let's do 4 1/8. No, let's do 4. We won't work with 8s. No, we won't do 8s today. Some days I feel like 8s, and then some days I don't. And I'm going to cut the bottom off of this because I really want this to be kind of showcased too, because I want to play on the So Saffron and this Bermuda Bay color. So I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4. Standard size mat for a A2 size card. So I'm making this a portrait card, so it's going to go on like that. All right, let's move our trimmer. I'm just going to set that there because I know we're going to be using it again. And again, I'm going to lay out everything and then come back. Now, I like the crisp edges, so I'm going to use my bone folder and get that nice crisp edge. And see how it makes your card lay down much better. Let me zoom y'all in just a little bit. There we go. If you hear that buzzing, that's my dryer. You know, all of us demonstrators, we work from home, so it's not surprising that you'll hear noises in the background because we are working. All right, I want to do something else. I think I want to do a black, and I'm thinking if we cut a strip to go across the middle, maybe about 1 inch. Okay, trimmer. We're going to break that up. So we're just going to take this and cut it at 3/4 of an inch. I thought 1 inch, but I think 3/4 would be good. And hey, this is called designing on the fly because I had not planned out what I was going to do. Now I'm going to cut this down to 4 because I only wanted to go across that piece of designer series paper. So remember we cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. So 4. And we got a little piece of a waist. I don't think we need to keep that one. And then we're going to lay this maybe right about here. And now I wonder, let's grab a punch. Maybe we can make something using one of our punches. Grabbed about 3 of my punches, and let's see what we can do here. We can always go back to the die cut machine if we need to, but this is the story label, and I've been using this one a lot. But I want to show you. No, baby girl. I have to move my dogs out from under my feet. I think what I want to do is I want to cut. Do I want to do a black label, or do I want, yeah, let's try it in black, and we'll see how that looks. And I'm going to punch, because we're going to need to do a sentiment too. So I'm just going to line this up in my punch, like so. I want to do it elongated. I'm indecisive, y'all. Okay, and now I want to take a piece of the Bermuda Bay, and I've got this piece where I cut my butterflies out, so I'm going to use it, and I'm going to cut or punch another piece of the Bermuda Bay. And now I need to decide which one I want to layer with. And I think I want the Bermuda Bay on the top. So I'm going to cut this in half. And then we are going to glue this on. All right, we're going to glue this on like this. So I am going to take and put some glue, grab my liquid glue, and I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue right there. And then I'm going to take this punched piece that I cut and I'm going to line it up. Just like that, and press it down. You want to make sure you're getting that on there even so it doesn't look, you know, too wonky. Okay, that looks good. And then we're going to do the same thing over on the other side. This is just going to add a little more interest to our piece. So I'm just going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to look at it and line it. Once I get it where I want it, I'm going to commit to it. And we're going to punch one more of those. And this time we're going to cut it lengthwise. So I'm going to cut it this way. Oops, if I can hang on to it. All right, so I'm just going to run my scissors right down the middle. And now we're going to come back in and we are going to glue this like that. See how that's going to give us a nice frame? And it's going to look so much better. This time I'm going to put the glue on this piece because we're just going to need to run it right across that edge at the bottom. And then we're going to hold this up. Got a little bit of glue there, but that's okay. All right, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Run a little bit of glue along the bottom. We are punch piecing. That's what it feels like. Actually, I have to give Connie Stewart credit for this. She's doing a master class on her Tuesday videos. And she's showing different ways to use her punches. And I thought, ingenious, look at that. So now we have a focal point. So let's put that there, put this here, and now we need a fluttering butterfly. So I'm going to look at my different colors. And you know what would be pretty? I did this one last night and I did the yellow wings on it. And I think this would be, let's see, maybe we could do this down here. The butterfly going off this way. And we could use that for our sentiment. That would be gorgeous. What do y'all think? Different, a little bit different than what I was going for when I started, but I think I like that. So I'm going to commit to that. I'm going to go ahead and put my my glue on this piece and glue it down. Now you could use your Stampin' Seal here, whatever your favorite preference of glue is, but I have this out, so I'm just going to use it. And I'm going to put this down, giving myself that nice little even border, and press it, press it, press it. Y'all know I love to iron out my glue because you need it to go to all four corners and do its little job up underneath there. So I'm going to bring this down to about here. Or do we want to do that up here? And the butterfly down here. I think I like that better because that's going to play better into that Bermuda Bay. Okay, we've changed our mind again. Hey, y'all know me by now, don't you? I am, when I'm designing a card and I'm doing it here in front of y'all, this is always it's just the way I roll. No apologies. It's just who I am. So, alright, I want to stamp on this. I wish I'd have stamped on it before I got all these pieces on it, because it's going to probably be a little bit wonky to stamp on. But you know what? We're going to try it. Or I could cut my sentiment out of a piece of white and put that across there, and that would be beautiful too. Let's go ahead. I want to pop this up on some dimensionals. So I'm going to grab my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I want to put here and here and here and here. And the reason for that, let me grab my Take Your Pick tool. The reason I want to put them there is I don't want to glue him straight down. I want him to look like he's got a little bit of motion, because that vellum lends to the motion too. So we're not going to glue him straight down. He's going to go down about like that. And see, we still got a little lift on the wings. I love it. Love it, love it. All right, so now we need to get a sentiment that we need to put on here. And let me grab one of my sentiment stamps, and I should have grabbed it out before I started. And I'm going back to my peaceful moment, and I want to see if that thank you will fit on there. And it will, and I think it's going to look beautiful. And I'll tell you what we can do. If you are afraid that that's not going to work well on there, we'll do this. This is the way to get around something like that. We're just going to pop out another one of these, and it will give it a little bit of depth as well. So we got that, and we're going to stamp on here and then glue that on top of that. Now, I should have thought ahead, and I should have stamped that before I glued it together. It's not an even, you can see at the bottom, it's just not even enough to be able to stamp on that and get a good image. So let me zoom you out just a little bit. I want you to see what I'm doing, but I also want to have enough of space under there where I can actually work too. Alright, so I have my, it's the wrong one. I have my Memento Tuxedo Black ink, and I'm going to grab a stamp block that I feel will accommodate. I'm going to line that up nice and straight here, so I make sure I get it straight on my block, and that will help me make sure I get it straight on my paper. So I'm just going to ink this up. And then I'm going to come right here in the middle, and I probably got my head in the camera, and I do apologize if I do. Very pretty. And I need something to just wipe this off on for temporary. Okay, so that is done. I'll leave that over there in case we need it again. So now I'm just going to glue this directly down to that, and nobody's any wiser except us. So I'm going to hold that right there, And I want to make sure I get enough of glue all the way to the edges so it doesn't look like it's going to pop off. And then this is just simply lining it up, and that's so easy to do. Just line it up completely even with that piece. And now we're ready to put this right here. And I love that look. I think it turned out really cute. So now the question, do you want to pop this up? I wouldn't, because we've got enough of dimension on here anyway. So we're just going to put this straight down, making sure that we get lots of glue. And we'll put that right there, just like that. So that just looks like it's all one piece now with the black. Isn't that a cute card? So of course I'm going to cut a piece of white to go inside, and I may even do a piece of black. I tell you what, I'll come back and do the insides because I want to do more of these beautiful cards. So that's number one, and let's lay it right there. Now I want to do something with this blue. And I wonder, oh, love that. Is that not beautiful? I also want to cut one out of black. And this is something else I wanted to show you. If you, on your dies, if you only want one butterfly, you can cut it. Here's my dies. I couldn't find them because they were covered up with butterflies. I got butterflies everywhere. So if you just needed one of these, I mean, it's simple. You would just position your paper like that and run it through. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's cut this edge and this edge off. And I just want this big one. So I'm going to lay my piece of paper just like that, and I'm going to run that through my die machine. All right. So we'll punch him out, and then this is just scrap that we can throw in the trash. We definitely got our money's worth out of that little piece of black. All right. I think I'm about ready for a new plate. My plate has seen lots and lots of love. This is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see what this blue and black looked like. Oh my heavens. Is that not gorgeous? So guess what we're going to do? Let me try one more. I want to try this one too. Oh, that's gorgeous as well. Look at that. Oh, decisions. I think I'm going to stick with the blue one though. Got a little bit of something on my butterfly. Actually, it's that black paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue just right underneath that body, because I'm telling you, if you keep it on this body, you will not see the glue. And now I'm just going to match up the body to the body here, looking at my antennas, the bottom of my body, the head of my body, and then I'm just going to hold that down with my finger and let it adhere. And there we go. Isn't that gorgeous? I love sitting these down on different colors. Like, let's look at this one. And let's see which one this is. Is it this one or this one? I think it's this one. And look how beautiful that is. We could always do it on a darker. It's beautiful in that blue too. Look how it brings out. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay, we're going to do this one. Now you can also cut these out of pattern paper, you know, subtle patterns, and be able to get a similar effect. And we might do that. We might cut a couple pieces like that and see what it looks like. I'm going to use my take your pick tool just to press right there, and I'm using the putty end with the cap on it. These tools are so nice, and I'm going to do a video of, really soon about the most important tools in your craft room. And most of us as crafters, we already have an arsenal of supplies like that. But you know, it never hurts to go back over and just kind of get a new perspective. Now here's one that cut out, and here is the piece that can lay behind it, but you don't see that, so I don't think I'm going to do that. Let me get a piece of paper out of here. I love this one. We're going to cut, let's cut this butterfly, which would be, you know, I love that beautiful, that big butterfly. What do they call them? Monarchs? I'm not sure, but they're gorgeous. So I'm just going to take and run this through my machine, just like that. I am going to tape it down, these pieces like this. They did not want to cut without going through with a shim. So remember that if you're doing that and you're cutting them out of vellum, you might want to just have yourself a piece of copy paper, and it does help if you tape these down. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool, and I'm just going to poke at this a little bit, get it released, and we'll pull it out. Maybe. You have some of these little holes that's just for pushing it out. There we go. Oh, is that not oh my heavens, look at that. That is gorgeous. Look how pretty that turned out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did before with the rest of them. I'm going to take a little bit of glue and just put it on the body. And then we're going to line it up and press it down. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And see how it lends its wings. And once that's glued good, you can lift those wings a little bit, and it just looks like your butterfly's taking flight. Gorgeous. All right, we got to make a card, y'all. That's just too pretty not to put on a card, right? So I think this time we're going to use a few different elements, and I think that'll make for an interesting card. So I am going to grab, I want something that's going to contrast. So let's get the Calypso Coral. That's a beautiful complementary color to the Bermuda Bay. Let's get this. And I think I'm going to just go old school with this one instead of pulling out the trimmer to do this. We're going to go rogue, old school, just bend it, and then use your bone folder. I do like using the tools. I feel like I get a much better result, but hey, that worked too, right? Alright, we know we want that butterfly, but I also want some smaller ones. So what about this one? And this one. And I think I want him right here, and this one right here, but we need something in the middle. So I'm going to go back to my paper. Love this paper. And what about that? Oh, that's stunning. Yep, we need a piece of this, and I want to mat that on maybe a piece of black. So let's get our trimmer. We're going to need our trimmer for this. And I'm going to move my card right here and some of my butterflies out of the way. And I think once I make this card, I'm going to go ahead and close the video out because I think you get the gist of it. So I'm going to do this at 3 and 3. Let's do 3.5. I'm going to do 3.5 by 4. No, let's do 3. We'll do 3 by 3.5. And I want to keep as much of that coral, so I'm going to cut this end off. 3 by 3.5. And then I'm going to mat this on a piece of black. And I'm going to, let's see, I've got black scraps over here. Okay, this piece is 3. So I want to go 3 1/4 by 3 3/4. So 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. And now we're gonna see how putting it on that black, it just really pops. And that's what I wanted. I want that pop of color just to shoom. And look at that. Oh, I love it. All right, so that's going to be our focal point on our card. So this one and this one and that one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and adhere these two together using my liquid glue. And if you're looking at this, are you seeing the beautiful color coordination? I mean, this piece would be beautiful on here. But Stampin' Up's color coordination, look at that coral. Their color, and the So Saffron, and it tells you on the back of every designer series paper what solid colors will work with it. It always tells you, so it leaves the guesswork out. You don't have to sit and search for a color that will match. I used to get so frustrated before Stampin' Up, and I'd have all this beautiful paper, but every time I could never find exactly what I wanted to work with it, and I would get so frustrated. I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals. So I'm just going to put one on each corner. And maybe 2 in the middle. And then take your pick tool and we're just going to wrangle those off. And then I'm going to set this down, eyeballing the middle. That looks good. And then we're going to tuck one of these right here. So we're going to put a little glue on this one. And he's going to look like he's taking flight from underneath that piece. And this one's going to tuck, I think this one's going to be right here. But the big one's going to be right in the middle. And we're going to put him on, now I'm going to do him straight down. The reason for that, we've already got dimensionals under the piece. So this is going to go straight down like so. And then this one's going to need a dimensional right there at the bottom. Right there. And then some glue on the top. And he's going to go right here. How's that? Isn't that a beautiful card? Now we do need to do a sentiment, so I'm going to do something very small right here, sort of like I did on this one that was a happy birthday card. So I'm going to find a thank you and I'll be right back. And we're going to go ahead and close out this video. I think you got the gist of how many wonderful different things you can do with this collection. So I'll be right back. Okay, I found the sentiment that I want to use from Life is Beautiful, and this is kind of an overlooked stamp set, and it's in the annual catalog, but I want to use that sentiment that is the title of the stamp set, Life is Beautiful. This is a really cute stamp set with the tree, and you've got leaves that you can make different colors for fall or spring or summer, and then you've got these little splotches that is a nice little texture. You got this little landing piece that you could put under the tree to have it look like the tree sitting, a cute little birdhouse that you could hang from the tree, and then I love the snowflakes because you could also do the snowflake covering up the tree and falling. So it is a great set. I love that sentiment, and also it has a hello and a thinking of you. So, but I did choose that because these butterflies are so beautiful and life is beautiful. So I am going to pick this up, and it is photopolymer. So I'm gonna I'm just taking and rubbing my fingers across it because sometimes just the oil from your hands will help condition that stamp to make it take the ink better. So, and I grabbed a piece of the paper that we used for the mat. This piece right here, this is what I cut off of it, and I'm going to use that, and I'm going to stamp up kind of to the top of it. Let me move everything over this way just a little bit. I want to make sure that y'all are in frame. I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. That does help when you're watching a video. I'm going to try to stamp it like right about here, and I'm going to take my scissors and kind of fussy cut around it to cut it out, and I'll show you what I have in mind. So I'm going to ink that up really good. I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black, and then I'm just going to set this down right about there. Very, very, very pretty. Now let me wipe the stamp off just for a moment. Here we go. And let's get this ink covered up. And now we're going to take our paper snips, and I'm just going to cut around this, and I want to leave a little bit of a border. Sort of like a little bit of a bubble effect on this. This isn't hard to do, and it can be so effective in your card making. It just looks like you were able to use a die to cut and trim this all out. And you didn't, you just used your paper snips and a little bit of fussy cutting skills. And there we go. So now we can bring our card back over, and this is going to go right here. And how pretty is that going to be? Right there. And I think I do want to pop it up, or do I not? Let's see. Maybe, no, I like it at the bottom. Even if it does go up underneath the butterfly just a little bit, it's still very effective. I'm going to glue it straight down. I was thinking I would put it on dimensionals, but I think the effect is going to be better if it's just glued straight down. So all I'm doing is putting some liquid glue on the back of it. And then we are going to set it in just like that. And that sets off our sentiment. So the other thing that I want to do is I'm going to do that insert. And if you remember, I showed you last week how you can cut your cardstock and make an insert piece. So I chose the same color of the cardstock Calypso Coral, and we're going to cut this down to 5 1/8 by 8. So 5 1/8 is going to be right there. And then we know this is 8 1/2, so I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off of it. So now we're going to score this at 4. Go ahead and fold it. I'm going to go ahead and get a good varnish on it. And now we need to decide, because we're gonna make this a pop-up card, and we're gonna pop up a butterfly on the inside. So what we're gonna need to do is decide where we want that butterfly to pop. And I'm thinking up here to the top a little bit. So I'm gonna cut 1 inch in down to the 1 inch mark. And remember what I told you about using something lighter up underneath it? And I found it easier to bring my blade to the 1 inch mark. I'm wondering if I need to go about 1.5 inches with this one. I'm going to go 1.5 inches, and I'll tell you why. I want something that's wide enough to put that butterfly on. So I'm going to 1.5 inches, and I'm going to slice up. And then I'm going to move it over. Let's see. Let's do the same thing over here. No, we're going to come this way. And I'm going to line up this piece on the 1.5. Or 2. Is that 2? Nope, that's 1.5. And I'm looking at my lines right here. And that is 1.5. So I'm going to cut up into right there. We know that's 1.5. Let's turn it around and do it this way. That way I know that I'm getting it exactly where I want it. So again, I'm going to put this line on the 1.5. Lining that up perfectly right there. And then we're going to put this little piece of paper under here so we can see where our marks are. And make sure everything's butted up against that lip right there. Come up to the 1.5, and I'm making sure that oops, wrong blade. Making sure that this is lining up perfectly with the 1.5. When I see that it is, I'm going to sink my blade and slice up. Now I'm going to turn this, and what I want to do is go over, make sure that's cut all the way. I'm going to go over to my 1.5, and I need to score in between those two marks. And if I go all the way to the edge, that's 1.5. So I'm going to bring my score blade up, and I'm going to start right here, and I'm going up to here, and I'm just going to work that back and forth just like that, and that gives me my little, then we're just going to pop this out like so, and you want to fold it down on those score lines that you just made, so your piece will look like that. That's what we want it to look like. And then we're going to burnish these edges, and inside this little piece right here. Now you can see we have a nice deep pocket to sit a butterfly on. So now to put this in our card, it is very, very simple. All we have to do is make sure that's folded down. Bring our card back. Let's open our card. And I like to do it this way because I can better see exactly where everything's going. And you can adhere this in one of two ways. You can use your Stampin' Seal, you can use a liquid adhesive, whatever you feel comfortable with using. I'm going to grab my liquid glue. I'll get that out in a minute, y'all. And I'm just going to put a good amount. Just don't be shy with your glue. Come on. Must have an air bubble in it because it doesn't seem like it wants to flow for me. Maybe I should have used Stampin' Seal. Okay, once you get your glue on there like that, all you're going to do to put this in place is fold the card down onto it. Just fold it down and press. And you can open it up and press that down. Now you're going to do the same thing on this side. You're just going to put glue. I think I got a little bit of a little clot of glue on the end of my bottle. The little snout was keeping it from coming out as good as it should have. So yeah, let's see. I think that was it because this is looking good. Make sure you get plenty of glue on the edges because you don't want this to lift up. And then once you get your glue on there like this, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to fold that down. I mean, that could not get any easier. And then I'm going to show you what we're going to have when we open that card up. We're going to have a nice little place. Glue coming out at the edges, but that's okay. I'd rather have too much glue than not enough. Now we have a place in here to adhere a couple of butterflies. So what if we put one right here and maybe one right here. You just want to make sure that your butterflies are in a place where they won't show when you close your card. Yep, and that's good. So we can put this one right here. So what I'm going to do is just put glue on this side of the wing. And just glue that right there. And then we are going to, I don't think I'm going to put this one over here. I think I'm going to put this one right there because I want to put another little oval or something here that will, I didn't get that in there. I don't think I got this one sealed in quite straight, but you know what? We're going to go with it. I didn't get it quite straight because it's not meeting up in there. So make sure when you put yours down, it goes all the way in. Now this will work, but you can see I have a little bit of a gap right there. So you want to make sure that insert goes all the way into that fold line. Do as I say, not as I do. That sounds like a mother, doesn't it? Okay, we're going to put that butterfly right there. And I'm not going to pop it up. I'm just going to put it down. Just like that. And then I wonder if we want to use, we could use a vellum on top of that one. Where is my poiples? Nope, it's not sending me. But that one is. think I like that on there. So why don't we do that? Why don't we just put this one on top of the pink. Give a little bit more interest to our card. And there we go. I'm going to let that dry before I close that card. But I am going to do a piece of this, and I think I want to do a punch because we need a place for a sentiment and a place to sign this card. So let's do this punch. This is the pretty label, and I'm not sure if this one is retired. But any punch that you have will work for this. I'm going to use this one because it was laying here beside me, and it's different than the one I used earlier. So there gives us a place to sign our card. So that's what that's going to be for. And I love that little bit of coral on there because it just matches so pretty. And that looks like a cloud. Love that. Now this is going to lay flat. And we can close our card. And there is our beautiful butterfly card. Isn't that gorgeous? Life is beautiful. And you could write a little hand note in here. There's plenty of room here. Sign it. You could just say thinking of you. We could also stamp another sentiment in here. I love the way this card turned out. I think it's gorgeous. Now it is a thick card because of the insert, but those make such pretty cards. I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial today. I hope that you enjoy the Butterfly Bouquet. If you buy the collection, that's what it's called. I will have all the numbers listed in the description, as well as you will see them pop up on the screen throughout this video. You have already seen the products that I use. I try to put them up there with measurements and everything and let you know exactly what I used. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the process of making this card as much as I did actually making it. So until we stamp and craft again, may God keep you and bless you. And as I always say in closing, let everything, and I mean everything, that you do and say, every action and every word, bring glory to our Father in heaven. He's so worthy. And until we craft again, I love you all. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to subscribe.